All right, so week 4 is basically in the bag. It's Monday, so we still got Monday night football to play. It's Seahawks versus the Giants, and we could talk about that a little bit, I guess. But I want to spend some time today on the people that I'm rising on and the people that are falling out for me, the people that I'm looking to either drop or stashing away or trading if they even have some sort of value remaining. I want to go through these guys because it's only week 4. So if you're in like a redraft or a keeper league, you still have the potential, even if you're 0-4, you still have the potential to make playoffs this year. And crazier things have happened. But I want to give you guys the best opportunity in your league to succeed. If you believe that you are in a league like a dynasty league or a deep keeper sort of league, and you're 0-4 and your points per game are well below the average for your league, and you think it's like game's over for this season, I actually made a video last week about how to rebuild a dynasty team. So I'll put a link of that video in the description below. But what's up, guys? Welcome back to FFT. I'm Trevor. Let's check it out. Okay, so I want to start with the risers, the players that I think have the potential to take your team to the next level, the players that are on the rise this season after week 4 that have just continued to trend up. I'm sure you're aware of a majority of these players, but these are players that, in my opinion, are worth trading for. They're trade targets. If they're on the waiver, absolutely pick them up. If they're on your bench, consider starting them. But let's go ahead and go through it. I'm going to do quarterbacks, running backs, wide receivers, and tight ends. I'm going to do that for the risers and the fallers. And again, this is just my opinion. This is one guy's opinion. There's a lot of research out there. There's a lot of data out there. There's already a ton of statistics that you can take a look at yourself. I choose to look at Sleeper because that's where all of the leagues that I'm in are hosted. And so all of the data that I'm pulling from is mostly from a half PPR format. So take everything I'm saying with a grain of salt. Again, these are my sort of values and the people that are surprising me and that I'm looking for going into week 5 especially and beyond. So let's start with quarterbacks. You already know that I'm high on these guys, these two guys especially, but Jordan Love and Brock Purdy. I've been talking about Jordan Love a long time leading up to the season. I thought that he had a ton of potential going into his first true season as a starter for the Packers. He has continued to show up every single game. The reason that he's near the top, he was the number 1 overall quarterback at the end of the middle of the games yesterday, so Sunday afternoon, and he's now dropped to like the number 3 quarterback overall. He's making a ton of passes. He's making a ton of accurate passes. He protects the football. He is a good quality quarterback that is confident in the pocket and knows what to do. He's a great replacement for Aaron Rodgers, in my opinion. I think he's only going to excel the remainder of this season and beyond. So if you're in a keeper league and you have him, absolutely hold on to him. If you're in a dynasty league, I'm even starting him in one of my dynasty leagues. I'm very excited about his potential every single game. It's sort of like a Kirk Cousins sort of situation where they find themselves in tight games or even behind, and they have a lot of weapons that they can use. And so let's talk quickly about Christian Watson and Aaron Jones. Because Aaron Jones has been out for a while, he just came back last game, wasn't really utilized. Christian Watson, sort of same story. But now that these guys are coming back and they're healthier, I know Luke Musgraves got hurt, but it's only going to continue to give Jordan Love more targets and more opportunities with these pass catchers and these playmakers going forward. So I'm really excited about Christian Watson, but absolutely I'm excited about Jordan Love in the same breath. Brock Purdy, same sort of story. The only thing that hurts him is Christian McCaffrey. But as we saw, he's getting some passing touchdowns as well. So I'm not too worried about that. And with Deebo Samuel and Brandon Ayuk, hopefully both being healthy at the same time here coming up shortly, Brock Purdy is just continuing to show up and be the sort of quarterback that the San Franciscos want to have as, in my view, a franchise quarterback going forward. So both of those guys, I'm very high on it. I'm absolutely picking up if they're on waivers. I doubt they are in most leagues. I haven't even really looked at the sort of starting percentages or the rostered percentages for these guys, but I assume it's pretty high at this point. One guy that could still be on waivers is CJ Stroud. Now, he's on the Houston Texans. For the past, like, however many years, they've been this dumpster fire of a team. I think that he is the sort of quarterback. After week one, let's throw week one in the trash. Since week one, he's continued to get better and improve, and Nico Collins is looking like he's kind of the main target, and they're doing pretty cool things. I mean, they are looking like a real football team at this point, and CJ Stroud is somebody that I'm looking to acquire absolutely. Anthony Richardson. He's a guy that is just an athletic monster. I mean, he got hurt in the last game, and he had like 20 points going into halftime and didn't play the second half. And so you could have started him and still been happy with just a first half performance. He has that sort of potential in his bag. He came up and showed up this last game. I didn't start him. I am an idiot. You can call me an idiot because I'm not high on Joe Burrow, but I thought the matchup was good. I played Joe Burrow instead of Anthony Richardson. Joe Burrow got me like 5 points. Anthony Richardson would have been the difference maker and would have won me the game this weekend. I ended up losing because I started Joe Burrow. So it is what it is. It is what it is. I am now stashing Joe Burrow, but we'll get to him in the fallers here in a second. The last sort of riser at the quarterback position for me is Trevor Lawrence. Now, this is the most kind of controversial one, I think, bringing up because the Jaguars have not looked as good as they did week one. They've struggled since then. Calvin Ridley has not shown up until this last game. He finally got a touchdown. But you want to see more out of Trevor Lawrence, taking a next sort of step. And I am rising on him. I'm gonna gamble on this kid and say that he is going to improve the remainder of this season. They are going to look better. Evan Ingram is going to be utilized more. I think that they have all the opportunity in the world. They've got playmakers and pass catchers, and I think that I am going to buy in on Trevor Lawrence. Running backs. Let's talk about him. Devon Achane. If you do not have him on your team, you need to. Raheem Mostert and him are must-starts every single week from here on out until one of them gets hurt. One of them probably will get hurt, and I hate saying that. But the way that these guys run, Devon Achane especially, he is going to run himself into the ground with how fast and how much fire he has in those legs. He is a fast, quick dude, and I'm just worried that he's going to make a cut. But it's like the Tyreek Hill situation where I keep thinking Tyreek Hill's going to get hurt because he's just so quick and just so agile that at some point I feel like his legs can't keep up with him, but I'm probably wrong, and that's why he's on a riser for me, honestly. Devon Achane, I had him on my Dynasty League as he's been benched. I even benched him this past week because I wanted to see if he could. I had better options in my mind over him. I'm starting him from now on. There's no reason not to unless he gets hurt. Brian Robinson, I want to talk about him. I haven't been starting him the past couple weeks just because of the matchups, but let's not forget what he did in the first couple of weeks. I think he goes back to that with these next matchups coming up. He didn't even have a bad game this weekend. He had like 11 points. He's being utilized a ton. I'm absolutely starting him going forward. James Cook, Dalvin Cook's brother. He looks like the real deal. The Bills are utilizing him the way that you want to see him utilized. He has touchdown potential. He has quick burst potential and big play potential. Absolutely. I'm looking to start him. And then Jaylen Warren is my last one in the running back spot. I love Jaylen Warren. I think that he is going to continue to get more and more work as the season progresses. So that's somebody that I may not be starting right away, but I'm absolutely picking up if he's still on waivers. Taking too long, so let's jump into wide receivers. This is a long list, so I'm going to just kind of go through each of them pretty quickly unless I have something to say. Nico Collins, like I said earlier, I'm liking CJ Stroud. DJ Moore, I'm a little hesitant on him. He is still on my risers. I'm probably benching him if I have him. I'm stashing him away for now just because I do not like the Bears. The Bears are horrible. The only reason that Justin Fields did well this week was because they played the more horrible team, Broncos, who ended up somehow winning that game. I live in Colorado. I'm a Broncos fan. I don't know how they won. They suck. So I think going forward, DJ Moore is somebody worth holding on to as like a flex option or a bench option for now, and you can work him in if they continue to improve. Romeo Dobbs, Christian Watson. I'm really high on these guys. I think they're going to continue to rise as the year goes on. Tank Dell is another one. I'm loving Tank Dell. Tutu Atwell alongside Nakua. Absolutely. I think both of these guys are starters each week. Gabe Davis. I think Gabe Davis is a secret weapon and worth having. Cortland Sutton continues to be the kind of the wide receiver one in my mind for the Broncos. He's getting the touchdown targets or the red zone targets, the touchdown targets, I guess. He's what you wanted him to be last year, so I'm starting him actually this year. Adam Thielen is continuing to get the workload just because Bryce Young, it seems like he has nobody else to pass to, I guess, and Adam Thielen is the only guy on the team that can catch the ball. And then Michael Wilson, who had an incredible game. He might be on a lot of waivers, actually, so I'm looking to pick him up. I'm not sure. Here's the thing, is when Kyler Murray comes back, I'm not sure who the target is going to be, but for now, it's him and Hollywood. So I'm looking at both these guys. I'm picking both of them up if they're available. Tight ends, the only one I'm really rising on, and the only one worth talking about, is Jake Ferguson, only because he's continuing to get the targets that you want to see for a tight end. He's just continuing to trend up as far as targets go and receptions. He's consistent, so I'm looking at him, absolutely. Okay, so let's jump into fallers. This list is shorter. These are people that I'm worried about. These are people that I'm either benching or dropping even, or trading away if they have some sort of value. All of these players aren't going to have the value you want, but if you need help in another position, these guys are people that I'm looking at seeing what I can get from them as I'm shooting out trade offers. So let's start with quarterbacks. I'm starting with Justin Fields. He's on this list. I know he just had a great game, but again, it was against the Denver Broncos, and I think he's going to continue to struggle going forward. He's looked horrible. He's not good. His decision-making skills are not great. He's holding onto the ball way too long. He doesn't have the run potential that he did last year. I don't know why he isn't using his legs as much as he did last year. Maybe that changes, and maybe I could be wrong. But for now, Justin Fields is rough, and I'm not starting him going forward if I have him. If I have other options, at least. Joe Burrow is another one. Like I said, I started him this week. I knew it was a gamble. I thought that against the Tennessee Titans, they had an opportunity to tear up that backfield. He didn't do it. So that really concerns me going into these next matchups even. I'm not starting him. I'm storing him for later in the season. And if he doesn't start figuring it out in the next few weeks, I know he's injured, but I'm giving him like 3 or 4 weeks before I'm dropping him or trading him away. Desmond Ridder, not liking what he's doing, obviously. Bryce Young, he's like the worst of the rookie quarterbacks this year. I'm not holding on to him anymore. I'm looking to free up a bench spot for my team if I have him. Running backs, Khalil Herbert, not stoked about that guy. Miles Sanders, not stoked about that guy. If you have Miles Sanders, you probably spent a decent draft capital to acquire him. He's not been the guy that you want based off of what you spent to get him. Another guy in that same boat is Jahmyr Gibbs. This is the first week that I've really sort of accepted what Jahmyr Gibbs is. Unless David Montgomery goes down, Jahmyr Gibbs is going to be that sort of gadget player where he gets some, pass attempts through the air. He's going to be utilized every now and then. He is not getting the red zone work. He is not getting the goal line work that David Montgomery is. So he does not have the touchdown potential that David Montgomery does. And that really steals a lot away from the value of this player. And I spent like a second or third round on this guy. I think a second round. So it really hurts. I think he still has some value. If there's people out there that need running backs bad, I think you could still get some value from Jahmyr Gibbs, but it's not looking good. And then Tyler Algier is the last one for the running backs. I think Bijan is starting to really steal the workload. He's the guy. Tyler Algier has gotten like 2, 3, 4 points over the last few weeks. Week 1, it looked like he was still a streamer and somebody to start. I'm not starting him anymore until Bijan gets hurt or Tyler, has an incredible week where he's getting utilized more, he's sitting on my bench or getting traded away or dropped even if there's better options out there. Wide receiver. I only have 2 to talk about, people that I'm not excited about anymore. George Pickens, I was high on for a little bit, but with Kenny Pickett now out for who knows how long, I think we'll have to wait and see how long he's out. I'm a little worried about George Pickens. And then Drake London. In London, Drake London couldn't make anything happen. And in the same boat, we'll just talk about the tight end too, Kyle Pitts. Both these guys, oh my gosh, it's a rough team. It's a rough team to be a wide receiver or pass catcher, and I'm not buying into it right now. They're falling off my list down into the abyss. That's my list, guys. I'm curious what you guys think. Am I missing anybody on the risers or the fallers? I'd love to know your thoughts, so leave a comment down below. Otherwise, please like and subscribe if you guys want to see some more content, some more FFT content. I cover the Nebraska Cornhuskers and fantasy football. So if you're interested in either of those, definitely subscribe so you guys get updated when those videos go live. I bring out videos every week talking about both of these things. So pay attention to that. But until then, I'll catch you next time. See you guys.